the thing about not just the care system, but for me, especially the care system and for care leavers, it's not about competition.
No.
It's about collaborating.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. It's like a community. And I've never actually felt part of a specific community, yet by doing this, I've realised it's a massive community.
Yeah.
And I've never felt so...
Well, that's good, because when you was in care, they didn't really paid attention to, was you? It was
No.
It was very sparse.
Oh, honestly, I could...
Less.
Over the weeks up until Christmas, stories will come and go randomly because you forget. And even when you're talking about a specific time, whether it was in residential or with foster carers, there's always something else that pops into your head and you think, oh God, forgot about that.
So you was in care at 6 weeks old?
6 weeks old.
And up until you was 11, where you went into residential for a brief period.
Yeah.
How many times did they check on you?
The social worker, up until I was 11, I think it was every 3 months.
Every 3 months?
But looking back, it was after that I needed the help and support. And actually, I specifically remember telling one of the social workers, she was, sorry, my eyes gone really dry. She was my last social worker, and then because I had probably five. I think I had 5 social workers over the years.
And why did they change? Why did they change your social worker?
Like my first social worker, I think he was about 60 or 70 when I was 3. So obviously people retire and get old. So he was due to retire.
People like that.
So funnily enough, I remember him the most.
Yeah.
Nigel Wallace, he was called. So if you're watching this, Nigel, big hi from me. And he was great. I remember him coming regularly. I remember him chatting. I remember actually that's when my foster carers decided they were going to adopt us, or they wanted to adopt us. And that whole narrative about my mum and her not wanting us, and she didn't want you. If she did, she'd have come back for you. They had to send some papers off for my mum to sign.
Yeah.
I only know this now. I didn't back then.
I know this.
And I only know,
told me.
Literally in the last, 5 years, I've only found all this information out.
Yeah.
And to put that together with the story and the narrative that was told to you as a child, well, she didn't want you, but she's that selfish and twisted and messed up. She made sure no one else could have you either. She didn't want you to have a life. She wanted you to suffer.
I'll stop you there. His mum's were exact words to me when she told me about this. They're my kids and no one else is having them. They're mine. And
that's the same with my dad's family. They said, we tried to adopt you, which they did. They weren't lying. They did try to adopt us. But she didn't, without going into too much detail, because there's a video coming up shortly called My Story. And I don't want to chop and change with it all, but they did try to adopt us, me and my siblings. And again, it was refused by my mum. She didn't, of course, want
she didn't.
any of them family members to have us. And that's all I'll say just now. We'll go into it.
But after you was... So up until you were 11, you had quite regular visits from your social
So I remember, I do remember. And then my next social worker, she was lovely. She was there when I went into the children's home at 11. She was the one that told me I had a sister that I didn't know I had.
Right.
She traced her. And that's another thing. When you put everything together, it everything was there. It just was all mixed up.
Yeah.
If I have this sister that I knew nothing about, like literally that was me being told for the first time, oh, I've found your mum. There's been contact and you've got a little sister. And she was, I don't know, however old at the time. She said, and she's doing really well, and your mum's doing really well. And when I look back now, it's like, how could a mum who's done all these horrendous, and I mean horrendous things, horrific things, like things that give me nightmares, you know, to having another child who is not part of the care system. There's nothing with social services at all. How is that possible?
Well, it's not.
If you've abused a child, even just abused a child, never mind to the extent of what was done to us, because the things were still done, just the narrative was a complete...
Yes.
Yeah. It's shocking. Sorry, I'm going off course there. So, yeah, I found out I had a sister then. And I do remember thinking, well, why is she with my mum? And I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
Because even then, I hated, and hate's a strong word, but I hated being with them foster carers.
Well,
And they were our mum and dad, because that's all we knew as a mum and dad. So how you wouldn't know any different, but I couldn't bear them. I couldn't stand being there. And when I was put into that residential at 11, I had an amazing time, and I didn't want to go back. And I kept saying, can I not stay? And they said, no, you can't stay. You're just here for a little break. And obviously now I know what that break was for. It was so certain siblings could be isolated, and I was in the way. I always felt like I was in the way, but never understood why. It was like I was an inconvenience, but obviously as things have unfolded over the years, I was an inconvenience, because you can't abuse girls if their sibling brother's around who might walk in or see something. So it gives you a free run to basically be in a house with a vulnerable child and vulnerable children, girls, all girls, while your foster mum is away doing a training course for 2 weeks, and he is left to his own devices in a house with nobody watching over him. Like, literally, just left in a house. Like, it doesn't even bear thinking about.
And this is why I think social workers, you said it was regular, but I had one at school. I had a best friend. He was in care. He was in foster care, and he was a bit of a, we'll say, a loose cannon, because he. I'm only smiling because on paper, like, because I remember when I was 14, and after everything that happened with the trafficking gang, they asked if I would like to consider going looking for some new foster carers. Well, first and foremost, I was like, why? I didn't know about Fred and Rose West at the time, but looking back, it was literally, that's like asking somebody who is aware of serial killers in this country, would you like us to put you forward for some new parents after you've just experienced life with them? That's how awful it was. That's how evil they were. And yet to be able to put on this persona and this front, it blags my head even now, how nobody could see it. How they couldn't see it. How is that even possible? But then it still happens today. People don't want to believe it, do they?
No.
People think that...
They're just on the surface. They went to church. We went to church. And it wasn't about a whole church thing. It's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but also foster carers, they're vetted as well. And if people lie, how are you to know that they're lying? Do you know what I mean? They get investigated and they get CRB checked.
I mean, then they didn't. You didn't have CRBs then.
Well, they must have been checked somehow.
CRBs only came into law when, I only know this because I was doing children's, I ran like a drama school, and I used to go into the schools, the primary schools, and I'd do like a free workshop, and in return they would give out a flyer to take home to the parents to invite them to come for auditions. And there was no CRBs then. It only came into place when the Solomon murders happened. That's when they were introduced.
Okay.
I don't know before that, but at the top of my head, I can't think of any. And, you know, I became a foster carer myself.
Yeah, of course.
And they check your bank accounts, they check what money you've got coming in, they check your medical records, they check psychiatric assessments. It's so thorough. It's so thorough. But at the end of the day, if I was saying certain things to a child, just a psychological abuse, like just
Oh, of course.
telling them they look stupid if they come down wearing something that you just want to degrade them, or, you know, that would still be so easy to do.
Yeah.
And if that child, they're already vulnerable, it's so easy. And it is so difficult to vet. And for me, I don't know why I wanted to become a foster carer. It wasn't to show that I'll show what a good foster carer does, a real foster carer, because I've noticed this, and I will say this, literally out of 2 million foster carers, I just happened to get the bad egg. You know, it took me a long time to even be able to hear stories about foster carers that are amazing and how many children they've helped. And because I was just, it was blackened for me. Like, even just the word foster carer, I immediately thought everything that they were. And that's not right. It's not fair. But obviously it tarnished me because it's had lifelong effect of what they did.